If you are a kid who believes in Santa Claus, do not click on this video because, of course, you will have your childhood ruined. Today, we'll be debunking Santa Claus, essentially. So, Santa Claus isn't real. It's a big lie. We all know that. And we'll be going over the many reasons why Santa isn't real. Number one, the North Pole paradox. Okay, Santa is believed to live in the North Pole. Okay, if you look at the North Pole, it's just water. No one lives in the North Pole. It's just water. Okay, and in order for Santa to exist, it would have to be warm all year round. There would have to be land on the North Pole all year round. Actually, not warm all year round. There would have to be land, a land area, and a land space in the North Pole. Okay, there was water here, and yes, there was like perma ice, but even that's quickly like going away. Okay, which debunks Santa Claus as well. Nobody lives here, and we have satellites here now. And if Santa was real, we would see his house on here. And Google Earth is created by satellites. And Google Maps as well. But I'm not using Google Maps because Google Maps gives away my location. But there's no house, there's no buildings, there's no area, there's no piece of land where someone lives. It's just ocean, ocean, and ocean. Okay? And people who still believe in Santa that are over the age of like 10, this is the North Pole. Okay? This is where Santa is said to live. It's just water. Okay? It's just water. It's just water. There's no one lives here. Okay? And even then, the most northernmost settlement is like up here. Okay? So the most northernmost settlement is Camp Boyle on the Arctic Ocean ice sheet, which has a population of 100, and it's populated in the summer only. So if Santa Claus was real, okay, there would be a permanent settlement on the Arctic Ocean ice sheet. There would be a permanent settlement. Okay? And this is the Borneo ice camp. There's no house, there's no reindeer, and there's no elves. Okay? Nothing. And the people who are here, live here, are only here in the summer. Okay? It is a temporary, and it's relatively close to the North Pole. And even then, if Santa Claus is real, these people would have said, "Oh, there's this house here. There's these reindeer, these elves. There's this, Well, they haven't found Santa Claus. Even though people will tell me that Santa Claus is real, Santa Claus must be real. Okay. Now let's go to aging, which is again, okay. So how old is Santa? According to this, Santa is 1,751 years old. But how? The longest living person, excluding, unpublished figures, is 122 years old. Which is a woman in France named Janine Clement. And you're telling me that a guy who eats nothing but cookies and milk once a year would live over 100 years old. Okay? You also have obesity. People who are obese tend to live shorter lives, which is sad, of course, but it's the truth. And there is no person yet that's over 1,000 years old. There is no person currently alive that's over 1,000 years old. Yes, you have these people who claim they're like 130, 140, and even up to 200 years old. But no one says they're 1,000 years old. Okay? In the future, there might be people who are 1,000 years old because of life extension technologies, but in the current day and age, there was something called aging, which again, biological aging eventually, your body eventually wears out and dies. Okay? So there's no possible way someone can be over 1,000 years old in this current day and age. And be in that good of health. So, yeah. The AIDS thing, the biological nature of humanity, is the second thing that debunks Santa Claus. Okay? Now let's look at the world population. Okay? Santa delivers to people, everybody, in one night. Okay? And one night. Let's just say, let's just say it's just Christians. Okay, so there's 7.9 billion people. Okay? But not, because Santa's not going to deliver to be. There's 1.32 billion people who are Christians. 41% of the population. And let's say around, 2 billion people celebrate Santa's existence. Mostly Western, or let's say it's just the West. Okay? Which is like, Europe, North America, North and South. Okay, North and South America, even let's include them, because I think South America also believes in Santa. And of course, Australia and New Zealand. Okay? Well, Santa would have to deliver to well over 1 billion people. Okay? In one night. All you have to do is look at a commercial air flight. A commercial air flight from, I believe, a commercial air flight from LA to New York is 5 hours and 15 minutes. Okay? And planes travel faster than a sleigh. Okay? For example, people say, but let's just say, oh yeah, Santa's magical sleigh can go the same speed as an airplane. Okay? Just to get from one side to America to the next side takes 5 hours for a plane. And Santa has to deliver to at least the whole country of America. So, you have to deliver to 300 million people. You also have to stop. And not every house is a chimney. So you have to stop. Go open the door. Unlock the door. Okay? And go inside. Go in, do it, and point out all the presents. That takes like 4 to 5 minutes. Okay? That takes like 4 to 5 minutes to, do all that stuff. Okay? Doing what Santa does with commercial airplanes. Okay? Santa's sleigh would burn up in flames if Santa was to deliver to everybody within one night. And how long does night last? Well, in the winter, the sun sets around like 4 to 5 p.m. It sets around like 4 p.m. Okay? And it goes back up at around like 5 or 6 in the morning. Okay? That's like 10 hours of nighttime. So Santa has 10 hours rest in the day. Okay? Okay, night length. Sunset and sun. So your average sunset to sunrise length is around 4:13 p.m. is your average sunset time. Your sunrise time on Christmas Day is 6:46 a.m. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's around 12, 7, 8 hours, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hours. Okay, so Santa has to deliver not just to New York and LA, which is 5 hours, but also to Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Latin America, and Christians and by other places that believe in Santa. So Santa has to deliver to at least 2.3 billion people every year. Okay, every year on all continents that believe in him. Okay, that's impossible to deliver in around 10 to 14 hours. It's impossible. Okay, literally impossible for Santa, a fictional character, to deliver and to 2.3 billion people in a fucking less than a half of a day, basically. Okay, you would have to travel across the Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Oceans. Okay, for example, a flight from Santiago, Chile, to Sydney, Australia, is 14 hours. That's very long. It's just impossible for Santa to deliver all of his presents within 14 hours. Unless he's gonna have it his way goes really fast. And also, he has to put his presents in the house, and people's houses too. Okay, he has to put his presents in people's houses. Okay, well, that takes time. Okay, he has to go sort through and make food with so his presents are lit. That takes time. Okay, that's people are like, oh, but Santa's real. When people say, oh, people like even drop friendships like, oh, Santa is real. You're stupid. Okay, Santa cannot deliver to 2.5 billion people. We're just using the Christian numbers here. The number of Christians on the planet. And yeah, okay. First, no one lives on the North Pole. Okay, nobody lives there. Okay, there's even bases right by the North Pole. Proving Santa doesn't exist. Okay, the North Pole paradox. There would be a house there. There would be things there. The aging. Okay, the longest lived human, and even the non-recorded ones, which go up to 200 years old. Okay, that even they don't last 200, and Santa's supposed to be 1,000 years old. Okay, Santa's supposed to be 1,000 years old. Okay, and even then, Santa, if someone would want to have to live for that long, they'd either have to A, take medicine and science, or B, they would either have to, and they would have to eat really healthy, and hope that they don't die. But Santa doesn't exist. Okay, Santa would have to deliver to 2 billion people within 14 hours. Which is impossible. Okay? No one lives in the North Pole. No person survived past the age of 200. Okay? At the very least. And even then, let's use 122. Santa would have to be living for 200 plus years. You might say, oh, but Santa, they could be different people. They would use different people for Santa. Yeah, you can make that point. Or Santa would make his base invisible. But even though invisibility, we haven't even invented that yet. Okay? There's no such technology that can make you invisible. Okay? And they'll say, but magic isn't real. Magic isn't real. Okay? That's the thing that Santa defenders would use. Magic. Magic isn't real. Okay? Magic isn't real. Okay? And yeah, the reason I posted this video now, then let's just say Christmas, because I know people will get angry because, oh, you're saying it to ruin Christmas. You're saying it to ruin my Christmas spirit, my Christmas mood. Debunking a fictional character. Okay? Santa is just as real as Mario, Darth Vader, and Goku from Dragon Ball Z, Star Wars, and Mario Bros. Series, respectively. Santa is about as real as a lot of fictional characters because Santa doesn't exist. There is no real person named Santa Claus that delivers presents every year on Christmas Day as well. Okay? And also, Santa uses reindeer to pilot instead of actual planes. Okay? Reindeer do not fly. You say, but magic. Magic! Okay? Reindeers do not have the capacity to fly. Okay? Okay? Reindeer can't fly. Okay? They cannot fly. The only mammals that can fly are bats. Okay? And even then, reindeer would have to carry tons of presents. Thousands of tons of presents. Okay? Let's also talk about weight. Okay? Not Santa's weight, but the weight of all the presents. Okay? Let's assume that each present weighs about a pound. Okay? A couple pounds. Okay? Big and small presents. Let's just say, including cards and stuff, it's around 2 billion tons. Around 5 to 10 billion tons of presents. Around 10 billion tons of presents. Okay, Santa would have to, and his reindeer would have to carry 10 billion tons of presents to 2 billion people. Okay, that's including all the cars and all the vehicles and all like the big presents. Okay, as well. Oh, well, 5 billion, 5 to 10 billion. That's impossible. Okay, and this is 8 million metric tons. Okay, Santa would be lifting fucking skyscrapers. Okay, 8.3 billion metric tons. 8.3 billion metric tons is 80 million times. Okay, I don't think it's, because of course there's 2 billion people there's 8 billion people on the planet. Santa would be bringing stuff. Okay, or 80 times the population of a blue whale. 25,000 times the Empire State Building. Okay, let's say assume it's around 2 billion tons. That is still more heavy than the Empire State Building, the Eiffel Tower, 1 billion elephants, and 80 million blue whales. Okay, that's heavier than the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. Okay. Okay, that is heavier than even the heaviest plane, the Dreamliner, one of the heaviest planes in the world. Okay, that's how many presents Santa delivers. 75 times the heaviest plane in the world. Okay, but Santa still exists. Santa still is real. Okay. And even the Burj Khalifa, which is the biggest building in the world, was that big. Okay, Santa will be carrying more than the entire Burj Khalifa. Okay, as well. And it is the Burj Khalifa weight. It is nowhere near as much as what Santa's sleigh can carry. Okay, it is nowhere near what Santa's sleigh can carry. Okay, has to carry. Okay, Santa's sleigh is just a tiny sleigh that probably weighs at least a ton at most. Okay, and considering how tiny it probably weighs around the same as an average cow. Okay, with Santa would have to be carrying 2 to 3 billion tons, over 3 billion tons of presents, which is definitely far more than the Burj Khalifa, which is at 455,000 tons, the tallest building in the world. Okay, and let's look at Mount Everest. Okay. Okay, Mount Everest is 350 trillion pounds. So it isn't as heavy as Mount Everest, but it's still really heavy for a person. Okay, with the highest someone could lift is like 1,000 pounds. Okay, and Santa and a bunch of measly reindeer are rolling around 2 billion tons going on people's houses. Okay, that would destroy the houses and would have broken houses everywhere. Okay, because the average house rate is not that big. Okay. Okay. Santa's sleigh will collapse before he even leaves the North Pole. Before he even leaves the North Pole, Santa's sleigh would collapse from the weight of all the presents that he has to deliver every year. Okay. And even if Santa somehow managed to get on a house, the absolute monstrosity of the weight of all the presents would destroy the house. Okay, because these are the amount of presents. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. People tell me Santa's real. No, there's no such person as Santa that delivers to your house every Christmas presents, okay, that can be up to 2 billion, over 3 billion tons of presents, that can somehow go faster than the speed of light to each house without a sleigh burning up. Or even the fact that there's no people in the North Pole besides people who only come down in the summer. So, overall, Santa Claus has been debunked. Goodbye.